Okay, all right, all right. We're getting started. Awesome. Okay, guys, well, welcome onto this call tonight. I'm super excited that we're doing this. My name's Ashley Walmer. If I haven't met you yet, I live in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I'm a triple diamond. I've been in the business now for about 2.5 years, which is just crazy. And I am so excited that we have Field Development Regional Aspen Emery with us this evening, and Ambassador Diamond Amber Parker. So we're all three Ashley, Aspen, Amber. So we're like the three A-team girls. And now that Amber dyed her hair, we were just joking, we're all blondes too. So it's so much fun. Anyways, but I am so excited to be on here with you guys tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about how some of the events that are coming up in 2018, specifically conference, and what getting to one of these events can do for your business. I will never forget the first event that I went to, but without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to our Field Development Regional Aspen Emery, and she's going to kind of share her perspective with you guys, and then Amber and I would love to chat with you as well. So Aspen, are you there?
Yep, I am. Guys, thanks so much for having me on here tonight. And, you know, like Ashley said at the beginning when we were chatting, it's so great that we can all be a part of a company where you can be in your real life and working your business. And I even feel that way from a corporate perspective. I've got my little girl in the car and we're heading, speaking of going to an event, we're heading to a hotel near the airport so that we can fly out to our last boot camp of the year in Nashville tomorrow morning. And get to the airport at 4 a.m. So that's what I'm doing. But I've been in this industry for 12 years. And so over the course of those 12 years, I saw the importance of getting to an event over and over. So just in general, there is something that is so transformative, if you will, about going to an event, whether it's a 50-person event or a 200-person event or a 25,000-person event. Each one has a different impact on your business. And it starts with showing you that it's so much bigger than just you and your handful of friends. And I know when we get into it, we're like, well, yeah, we know I'm not the only one that's here and it works. Like, I know it's bigger than me, but it's so much more than that. When I was interviewing for this job back in January, even having come from this industry and having been burned and not sure what my place was going to be in the industry again. When I went to my first One Team, One Mission and Mike Patillo was there and there were 200 or 250 people there, I saw that It Works was so much bigger than just the handful of people that I knew were having success in it. So there is just something about seeing the bigger picture that I think is really important. And you're going to enroll new people, even, that aren't even on this Zoom right now between now and conference. And we're going to want to send that message to them, because when I'm out in the field, and part of what I get to do is I get to travel to different cities every month, every week, and talk to distributors. And one of the things I like to ask them is, what was a turning point for you in your business? When did things shift? Because I know there are a lot of people that sit at executive for a while or sit at diamond for a while, and then all of a sudden I'm like looking around going, wait a second, weren't you just a ruby and now you're double diamond? What happened? When I ask people that question, I say, what changed for you? They said, I got to an event. They saw a story on stage, and even if they had heard 100 stories before, they saw the one that was for them. And it's why I tell people, you're all going to have your own story one day. You don't always need to be the fastest or have the most flashy story, because you're going to be that one story for someone else. There are sideline relationships that happen at events. And a sideline, for those of you that are newer, is someone that's not your upline who's getting paid on you and not your downline who you're making money off of. They're just a sideline, kind of like Ashley and Amber, where they can just be friends and support each other. You don't know sidelines if you don't go to something. And I know from talking to both of them that their sideline relationship has been something that has totally changed both of their lives. They never would have known each other if they hadn't gone to an event. So there are a lot of things. There's announcements that happen at events. And there's an energy. When I went to It Works conference back in February, I was still interviewing for this job. I hadn't yet been hired. I had been to several other local events before then, and each one built my belief more and more in what this company was about. But going to conference was a whole other level. And I'm not saying that just because we say that a lot and it works. It took my belief to another level, and seeing the culture and what a company stands for. And if you haven't built anywhere else before, you might be going, well, what do you mean the culture? Aren't these all just a bunch of people that get excited? No, it's really not that. Yeah, there's a bunch of people, and yes, they're excited, but each company you're with has kind of its own culture, its own belief system, its own values, its own kind of way that they walk and way that they talk, and those things that kind of make them tick. And there is something about the It Works culture that you don't find anywhere else, and you're going to want to get around it as soon as possible. And so I always encourage people, and I've been encouraging people the last month or two already, start saving for conference. It is an investment. It's not a sacrifice. It's an investment in your business. Not only is it literally a tax write-off investment, but the money you make when you come back from conference because you let go of whatever it was that was holding you back, more than pays for whatever it costs you to go. And I'm excited, and I wish I
Oh no.
for conference. I've been to only one. I know even Amber, who's been to several, will go to conference and say, oh my gosh, we've never done anything like that before. I would have never thought to do blank, blank, and blank, but you guys did it, and it was so awesome. So I don't want you guys to miss out on the things that we're doing of what they get conference. So that's my little nugget for now, and I want to hear what these other ladies have to say, because we all have kind of a unique perspective on why it's so important.
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, thank you so much for hopping on here with us and sharing. You have a wealth of knowledge, even just coming from, your other companies and going to other conferences and seeing what that does for people. There is something about when you get in a room of at least 20,000 people, of like-minded individuals, and you look around that place and every single person in there is excited about their life, is happy, is, just the energy in there is crazy. You don't ever even want to leave, because then you go into the real world around normal people that are ornery and grumpy, and it's just so much fun being in there. And I really, truly feel like you guys don't even know what you have your hands on until you walk into that room and you feel like a little tiny, fish in the pond, right? I will never forget when I went to Green Carpet first, and there was only 6,000 people, and I told Cami, I was like, I've never seen so many people in the same shirt. This is kind of weird and crazy. They're everywhere, She's like, just wait till conference, Conference blew my mind. We built very quickly and very fast. We built to double diamond in the first 5 months in the company. When I say double, it's because my husband built to double as well. But then we sat there for about 6 months, and it wasn't until I got to conference, I feel like I let a lot of things happen in my head, and I started questioning myself. I started looking and playing the comparing game, and then I got to conference, and I got to that event, and I saw all these people up on stage that were just like me, that had all these awesome stories. And Cami always says success is an identity process. Once you get to an event and you can see yourself or someone else's story, you can identify with somebody else up on stage talking, you really truly feel like, okay, if they can do it, then I can do it. And what am I waiting for? And it's not just about the tips and tricks that are at conference. You heard Aspen just say it's about, some of the sideline relationships. Some of my biggest takeaway moments every year from conference is not from something that somebody said on stage. It's from bumping into somebody in the hallway, or waiting to get into the bathroom, or waiting to get into an event, and you're talking to somebody that you've never even met before, and they give you the most profound thing that you needed to hear in that moment. Those are the things for me that, I always tell people, 2 years ago when it sold out, I had a handful of people that came down that didn't even had a ticket, that just came to be around all the after party stuff and the lunches and the breakfasts and the dinners, because they just wanted to be around it so much. So make sure you guys come to conference. But a couple of other things that I just wanted to like quickly talk about too is, you know, when I look at 2018 and who are going to be my runners, who are going to be the people in my business that are just exploding, who are going to be those people that just take a hold of their businesses and like take it to that next level. And I always look at the people that are going to conference. The ones that go to conference are the ones that have just ginormous momentum going into the next year, and they carry it over into their teams. And the people that are promoting every single year in my business are the ones that are at conference. There's something about getting there. And I'm sure you guys are going to hear from a couple other people tonight that said that after conference, X, Y, and Z happened to them. And it's not this like magic dust that they sprinkle on you when we walk in the door. It's the fact that you are there and you open up your heart and your mind to this business and the things that people are saying, and it does something. It changes you. Like I say to my team all the time, like conference will change your life. I can't promise you that any one thing will just completely transform your business or transform your life, but being there and that experience, if you let it, can completely change your life. And I can't wait to hear from Amber, because she is somebody that I met at an event. If I hadn't gone to that event and opened up my heart and mind to what was possible, I would have missed out on meeting one of my best friends. I'm going to get choked up and I'm not going to cry, but Amber is somebody that pours into my team and everybody around her. And if I hadn't been at an event, like I just said, there's no way I would have ever met her. So you have no idea like who you're going to meet at these. Not only are they going to transform your business, but they could be some of your best friends. So before we bring her on, I would love to hear from Kristen Dranchi. She's a double diamond on my team. I love her story. She is from a super, super small town, and I'll let her tell her story, but conference completely transformed your business. Kristen, are you there?
Yes, I am here. How are you?
Good. Awesome. Okay. So tell us what happened in your business when you went to conference.
Okay. So I'm going to backtrack just a little bit. For those of you that don't know, this is actually my second time in the business. So when they're talking about conference and throwing out these numbers of like 20,000 people being there, I went to one of the first conferences that It Works had when corporate was in Grand Rapids. It was at the Amway Grand, and there was probably about 500 people there back in 2009, 2010. So they had amazing things going on back then. So I rejoined back in May of 2015 and went to conference. It was either the end of January, beginning of February 2016, and I was blown away to see how many people were there in this huge stadium. In that short of time frame, It Works exploded. You guys, we truly, truly have something amazing on our hands. So I went to conference end of January, beginning of February 2016 as a Ruby. I had hit the Emerald rank, but then kind of backslid to Ruby and was being paid as a Ruby. And when my team and I left conference in February, that month promoted to Diamond, then the next month promoted to Double Diamond, which was amazing. But the best part of that was I earned a $25,000 bonus and then a $30,000 bonus. So that was absolutely amazing. It was so exciting. And I had a few people on my team that earned the bonuses that were offered at that time as well. What else do you want me to add?
That is crazy. Like $55,000 worth of bonuses, like in 2 months. It's nuts. Yep. Okay, so Kristen, if you could pinpoint, like, what is your favorite part about conference? What would you say?
Oh, that's so hard to pinpoint one thing. I think for me, I've been to 2 now, joined, and I love that they're never the same. You're never going to get the same thing, and I am so excited to see what 2018 is going to bring. But I think my favorite part is, like was mentioned before, is just getting to know Sidelines, because there's so many different personalities out there, and there's so many different people that we can connect with and learn from, and it's just the relationships that last a lifetime. I love the positive atmosphere, like you said, Ashley. You know, you're just it's kind of like you're at church, and you're just surrounded by positive, influential people. and it's really exciting. That's one of my favorite parts, connecting with Sidelines. But the feeling, the emotions that you get there, it's so hard to explain. I can't really explain it. It's just, you're overwhelmed and you're so excited to go change more people's lives.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So much so. Thank you so much, Kristen. Yeah, I like totally what you just said. Like, you leave there just so inspired and on fire for your business and for other people. And you might be on here tonight and you're thinking, well, I don't have anybody on my team, or I'm the only one. Like, there's nobody on my team. You guys need to come. I remember when our first event was a green carpet. It wasn't a conference. It was a green carpet. And we were double diamonds, but nobody on my team had committed to coming. And we went anyways. And we were the only ones that were going. And that was so scary for me. You guys, like, I'm a blue, but I am somebody who's blue with my friends. Like, I like having lots of fun with people that I know. It was very outside of my comfort zone to go to all these events and like not know anybody. But that is the thing that propelled my business forward. And so you might be on here thinking, I don't know anybody. You guys need to come. And if anything, like, connect. There's so many different groups where there's people in there all the time like, hey, I've got a girl that's coming from my team and she needs a roommate. So make sure you guys get with your uplines and figure those details out, because we all want you there. And I know for me, if I hadn't gone and stepped out of my comfort zone, like, I don't even know where I would be in my business. So I just really encourage those of you guys to come, even if it's just you on your team, because you're never going to be alone. We are a huge family, and that's the one thing that I love about It Works. I was in multiple companies before where we didn't actually, say that sideline relationships were good, and it never felt like a family. It was always just a business, and that's one of my favorite things about It Works, is it is just a huge family. So anyways, with that being said, I want you guys to hear from my sister, Amber Parker. So where are you at, girl?
Right here, girl. I got you.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys. First of all, I just want to say thanks for jumping on. My gosh, there is so many. How many do we have on, Ash? I don't even know if how many, what?
We have 82 now, 82. Someone else just
nice. That is awesome. So I want to know personally, just so I can kind of gauge from who we're talking to. Drop a 1 in the chat if you've been to a conference before. Drop a 2 if you haven't. Okay, so drop a 1 in the chat if you've been to a conference before, and drop a 2 if you haven't. Wow. Okay, so we're almost even right now. Okay. I'm going to let them keep coming in for just a second. And then I want you guys to drop a 5 in the chat if you guys are coming to conference. If you are like, I don't care how I'm getting there, I actually don't know how I'm getting there, but drop a 5 if you're coming to conference. Okay, just so we can kind of gauge this out. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, drop a 1 if you've been, 2 if you've never been, and a 5 if you're coming. Okay, and you know what? Let's drop a 3 if you're not sure. If you're like, I don't know if I'm coming, actually. Still on the fence. I'm totally open to that. Okay, I'm open to everything. Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Amber Parker, and I have been in this company. This will be going on my 6th year, and I really can't even believe this, you guys. I'm like barely past high school, and this is the longest career I've ever had, and it's been the most fun. It's definitely not a career that I thought I would ever do, and I'm so thankful that I did. But I want to share a little bit about where I came from, because I feel like a lot of times you guys see where we're at today, or even not even me. You guys see where Kristen's at, where Melanie's at, where Erin's at, where Deb's at. You guys see where those people are at, and you think, well, they've been there forever, and they maybe don't have a story. Maybe they don't know what it's like right now, or know where my financials are right now. Okay, let me backtrack 5 years. Actually, let's go 6 years ago. 7 years ago in April. Okay, so about 7 years ago, I was getting ready to deliver my son, and our lights were shut off the day before I delivered him. Okay, now that was about a year before I started this business. Sorry. Yeah, right about then. And I don't know about anyone else, and you don't need to raise your hand. but not having electricity sucks. And not having money to pay your electricity bill sucks. And not having any vision or hope or even possibility or outlet to be like, is my life ever going to get better? Am I ever going to be able to get out of this? Sucks. Like, it freaking sucks, okay? So, I started this business, and I didn't have $99, which a lot of us don't. You know, most people, they don't have the extra money, and they surely don't have the time, and that's actually why we start the business, okay? And I remember went Ruby in 45 days. 3 months in, I went Diamond. And even at Diamond, you guys, that wasn't enough. Bills were still behind. Negative bank accounts. That Christmas, so I joined in August. That Christmas, my parents paid for my Christmas. But here, everyone is like preaching about, you know, get to conference. I'm like, I'd like food. I'd like, you know, to pay my bills. Like, that'd be nice. But I knew there was that slight, it's almost like a lightning slight streak of, you need to go. And I was like, but I don't know how. And I don't know if anyone on here is like a how person. Like, you got to know how this is going to happen. How am I going to pay for it? When, what, where, when, how. Like, we got to have our ducks in a row. And so I needed to know how I was going to get there. And I had a couple team members that were really excited to actually go to conference in January. And here I am as a leader, and I'm like, I can't even go. My whole team's going to go, and I can't even go. Like, I don't know how I'm going to pay for a plane ticket, let alone hotel and food. And I don't know what inspired one of my friends to do this, but she paid for my plane ticket. I was a diamond in the company, and she paid for my plane ticket to go. She says, you're not missing out on this. Like, wow. First of all, so thankful and grateful. And by the time conference came around, you guys, because I said, you know what, thank you, I was actually able to buy someone else's plane ticket and pay it forward and get them to come to conference. And when you commit, God will find the way.
God.
Oh, I think you can mute me, Ash. Mute everyone. All right. And so I think that when you guys just commit, like, everything will work out. Whether you believe in God, the higher power, the universe, whatever. Maybe you don't at all. And actually, 5 years ago, my faith was really tested. And this company gave me that back. And, you know, I often joke, I say, if I paid $99 just to have friends, it was so worth it. And, you know, if I paid $99 to find a relationship with Christ again, it was so worth it. But that happened at conference. And had I not been at conference that year, I will never forget it, you guys. It was in a room, and like Ashley said, you feel like, just, who am I? Like, just another distributor. No one knows who I am. I've got my team. And sometimes you don't even have your team there. And honestly, the events where my team hasn't come with me have been perfect for me. And so I trust that process too, and I ask that you guys do as well. But if you don't go, then why would they go, right? So I'm at conference, and I will never forget. At conference, there's like a whole sound booth in the middle of the room where they control like all the lightings and everything else. And I remember just being completely slouched down in a chair, 20,000 people. And I remember sitting next to a pillar that was like obviously in the foundation of the room. And I remember thinking, I don't have, and this was back then when I had black hair, I was like looking at everyone on stage, and I thought, who am I? I don't have this long, gorgeous blonde hair. I'm 5'2" on a good hair day. Like, I live in a small town. I drive an older car. It was actually like really, really, really old. I park it around the corners for my wrap parties. Who am I? And why would I ever be so worthy to be a top leader, to be on that stage, to fulfill my calling? And I will never forget, you guys, I looked over my shoulder as if somebody talked to me and they said, why not you? And I said, what? And that thought, when it came across again, why not you? And I was like, okay, I don't know who you are, but I don't, go away. And sorry, I didn't think I was gonna get emotional. Oh my gosh, this is so crazy.
I love you.
And in that moment, I wish I would have kept the text. I text Josh because he wasn't there with me. And I said, I'm gonna retire you by January of 2014, mark my word. And I don't know who moved my fingers to that text message. And I'm so thankful that whoever that was with me did it. And I was like, slouched a little bit further down in my chair because I did not want anyone to see me. And I remember listening to Zig Ziglar, and he says, you can have anything that you want as long as you help enough other people get what they want. And I text Josh that, and of course he wants to believe it, you guys. And I want you guys to find that dream. And at the corporate, at that event, is where I found my first real big, impossible, big, audacious dream. And that was to retire my husband. My kids were babies, and I wanted him home with me. And that was in January. And in June of 2013, 6 months sooner than I had said, I retired Josh from his 9-to-5 job and we brought him home. Had I not been at that event, the next 3 or 4 years of our lives would have been so different. And it would have changed everything. Josh was able to be home while our kids were home. He was able to be there, you know, and now our kids are grown. They're in school full time. Like, we get to choose that. Josh goes to school. He works with my brother. He loves it. And that's what we want now. And we have new goals now. And I just challenge you guys that when you don't think that there's a way, there is. Because when you want something bigger, there's going to be a roadblock. But you have to see that what you're going through right now is so small compared to what's ahead. Go ahead, Ash.
I love that. Oh, is that your little dog? I can hear it. It's so cute. Oh my gosh, you always just say the right things right when I feel like everybody needs it. You definitely do that for me, and I'm sure there's lots of other people on here as well. I just appreciate your heart and who you are, and just always being so open and vulnerable, and I just love you. So thanks for that. Okay, so did you have a few girls that you wanted to bring on and maybe share a little bit about their stories with us?
Yeah, definitely. You know what I love is that, like Ashley said earlier and Aspen said earlier, everyone's story is so different, and you guys may not be able to relate to mine. You're like, dude, I've got money. That's not my reason. Like, you guys might be like, I don't even have kids. I don't want kids. You know, you need to connect with someone that is on the same path as you. And so another great thing is that one of my dearest best friends, Malin, she's actually a sideline. And a lot of people don't know that. And it doesn't matter. Like, that's what's great about this business is, like Ashley said, we're all family. But she came to an event, we connected, and her first conference, she stayed in our hotel with us. And so I would love for Malin and then Mo to share their stories real quick.
Okay, perfect.
So Malin can unmute herself.
Okay. I thought I had it together, and then you guys talk, and then I lose it. Really nervous to even be doing this, but so hopefully you guys can bear with me. I kind of like Amber said, I met her at an event, I think 4 months into being in the business, and I just kind of accidentally came upon the event. We are sidelines, and I was sitting in the very back of the event with my husband because I couldn't go anywhere by myself. Terrified. I was the girl that would walk into a room and pray that nobody saw me. Pray that nobody talked to me, look at me. I was really afraid to be around people and super shy and kind of awkward. I was in the very back of the room, and her and Josh were running the meeting. At the end, she said, "Who's going to conference?" Of course, a lot of people raised their hands. And she said, "Actually, who's not going to conference?" And my husband, he is the complete opposite of me. And he raised his hand really high and he said, "We're not going." And I about died. Amber pointed at me. I didn't even know who she was. I didn't know about ranks, nothing like that. I didn't really do anything those 4 months. And she said, "You're going to conference." And I was like, "Yeah, okay. We don't have any money, so that's not going to work out." As soon as the event was over, I literally booked it out of that room. We ran out of the room and left. I connected with her on Facebook, and I pretty much said, "Thank you for the meeting, and I love your hair." That was it. And then we talked a little bit more, and a little bit similar. I still didn't think I was going to be going to this conference. The more I kind of talked to Amber, the more she was like, "We're going to make it work. We're going to make it work." I'm like, "There's no way. We couldn't even put food on our table." We had 2 kids, and I had a, I don't know, 5-month-old or something, at the time. And I had, kind of the same situation, a friend, and this just doesn't usually happen. I had a friend that paid for my plane ticket, and Amber said, "Come stay in our hotel room." I got a $200 check in the just from work, and I brought that $200 with me, knowing that I couldn't spend it because we had to pay our bills. I spent $10 of it on bread, peanut butter, and jelly, and that was it at the store. And that's all I ate those 4 days or so. And so I went as a distributor. It was my 6th month in. Didn't really do anything. Didn't really know what I was doing. I had no direction other than the direction I got at that training from Amber. And I remember at the end of the conference, and I was like that girl that really didn't talk to anybody. Actually, before I get there, when I was getting on the airplane, I was going by myself, and Amber was like, "You're going to meet this girl there." And I was like, "Okay, I'm going to die. This is like, I do not want to do this. I don't want to go. Like, am I supposed to go?" And I remember calling Amber, actually I probably texted her, and I said, "I just don't feel like I'm supposed to go." And she was like, "Yeah, right. You're probably just scared. Like, you can still go. It's okay." And I was like, "No, like, I haven't ever left my baby before, other than with my husband." And I remember sitting at the airport, like, hugging my baby and being like, "I don't want to go. Like, am I supposed to go? Is this like just my head talking to me? Is this because, like, why?" And I remember just squeezing him, holding on to him like it was going to be the last time I saw him because I was so scared to go. I did not want to leave him. And I met this random girl who's one of my good friends now in the airport. We sat next to each other on the plane ride, and it was just kind of awkward at first. And that's who I spent my conference with. At conference, didn't really talk to anybody, but at the very end, I can't really describe what you feel there. It's just something else. I don't know. And when something this big is about to change your life, everything is going to come in the way for you not to go or for you not to be a part of it. And kind of like Amber said, when you feel like there's not a way to get there, there is. And how I even trusted that whole process is crazy to me. Like, I just did. But I left that conference as a distributor with I showed up at the conference, sorry, as a distributor with zero confidence, like none. And I left that conference almost as if I knew what to do with my business, what to do with my life. It feels like you walk out and you have every answer possible and you just run with it, and I just went. I went diamond 4 months after that, which I never even thought was possible. All I wanted was $200 in this business. Went diamond 4 months, and in 1 year, so December of that year, I went double diamond, and I got my husband diamond, and we earned $35,000 in bonuses in just 1 year, just because I went to that conference. I can honestly say that if I did not go to conference, I probably still would not be in this business. And I'm so grateful now today for this literal transformation in my life because of this business 4 years later, and for all the friendships and like the true connections that I get in this business, because I never had friends before this business. So that's kind of a glimpse of my story.
Oh my God.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. You know what's awesome, you guys, is that, like I said, everyone's story is different. And I think a lot of people feel like, you know, if you're stuck right now, or if you just feel like you're missing something and you're missing that last piece of the puzzle, just try it. Just give it a shot. I always tell people you could never be in a worse place than you are right now by not taking that next step forward. And again, it's months away. Like a lot of people, if you're the how type person, you want to be like, I'm not even saying yes until I have my plane ticket. I'm not saying yes until I have my hotel reservations. I'm not saying yes until, and I'll tell you this, you aren't going to get yes back. So make that step and just try it out. There's always a way to create a win with anyone and everyone. And you're going to find that connection, like somebody who's like you. Now, me and Malin could not be more opposites, and we spend every day together because of an event. And we grow our friendship. We have kids, our husbands are friends. Like, it's one of the greatest blessings. But had we not made one decision to go to an event, you don't know what you're missing out on until that time is spent and gone and moved on. So thanks, Malin, for sharing your story. There's one more girl. Ashley, did you have anything you want to add to that?
No, I just love you, Malin. And even in just the time that like I've met you, like I didn't know you when you just talked about your story from conference, but your confidence, like when you said you walked into that conference with no confidence, like you've just grown so much in this business. And I'm so proud to like know you and call you friend. And that's what this business does, guys, if you let it. And if you get to events like conference where you're around people that can pour into you. So I love you, Malin.
I love that. And you know what's crazy, you guys, is 2018, if you think that we've had some big momentums, if we've had, some big movements or jumps in the business, you haven't seen nothing yet. Wait till 28. Actually, I don't think Mark's even waiting until conference, because I'm pretty sure we have some really cool announcements that are coming up soon. But you better be ready. But 2018, you guys, is going to be legendary. This is going to be the year that's going to take everything to a whole nother level. And I'm excited to see who's going to be excited to do this with us and going to be able to step outside that comfort zone, to be able to be like, you know what, forget about plan B. This is my only plan A. And no matter what, no matter how I'm feeling, no matter my emotions, thoughts, or moods, I'm going to do it. So, and I love that. And that's what brings me into to this next awesome leader. Her name is Mo, and I just love her. So go ahead and unmute yourself, Mo, and just share a little bit about your conference.
Hello, everybody. I will go like maybe a week before conference. I was Ruby, going on 18 months at Ruby. 18 months. Some of you haven't even been in the business for 18 months and like want to quit. I was my goal was, you know, a couple $100 for groceries and stuff. Right. I had already bought my ticket for conference, and my husband and I know a lot of people can relate to this, got into an argument about money and the money I was putting into the business and not making in the business. So I quit. I was like, you know what? I didn't want to argue with my husband, and I threw in the towel. And my husband felt so horrible about that argument because I cried. And that was like the first time he had ever made me cry. Like, I locked myself in the bathroom because my heart is in this, you guys. I'm a lifer, and I love the products and I love everything about the company. He heard me cry, and he reached out to my sideline sisters. He reached out to everybody. You guys, like, she has to go to conference. Like, she has to go. Like, he realized how much I loved doing this and I loved the business. So I went to conference. Remember, I went as a Ruby that had been Ruby for 18 months. I left conference. Like, one, it was emotional for me. You know, I had, like Amber, I had struggled with my faith. You know, I grew up Catholic, and I've had so many blessings in life, and I don't know. So I have no idea why I was struggling with my faith. Worship is the first day, and it just blew me away. Like, I mean, I go to a Christian church now, so I've been to worship, you know, and I love it, but there was nothing like that. I had never been a part of anything like that. And I don't like the Hollywood, like, going, no offense if you go to the Rock Church, but like, that's just not my style. And to me, it's too Hollywood. But this was just like, you're in this huge auditorium or whatever with all these people, and conference really touched me. Then you hear the things that you hear, other people's stories and stuff, and you realize, like, they're nobody special. They are absolutely nobody special. That can be you up there on that stage. You can be a top income earner in this company, and the only thing stopping you is you. So I left conference with confidence. I left conference with this fire inside me, realizing it had opened my eyes and made me realize I wasn't doing everything I needed to do to be one of those people. So I started doing everything I needed to do. I started listening to the things that Amber Parker was telling us, and that my, you know, enroller was telling us to do, that these top leaders tell you to do, you know, personal growth and all that stuff. It opened my eyes, and it was a reality check to me, telling me that I'm not doing what I need to do to be, you know, diamond or whatever, because diamond was my goal. So I left conference. I got home February 8th. And in 21 days, I went, there was 29, it was leap year that year. And I remember that because my sister-in-law got married on the 29th on leap day. And I was in the car missing the wedding and the reception, signing customers. I went Emerald in those 21 days and got a $2,000 bonus. Then I went Diamond in that 31 days. So in 52 days, I went Diamond after being stuck at Ruby for 18 months. I earned $22,000 in, I'm going to cry. I earned $22,000 in bonuses, you guys. And I got to take my family to Hawaii for my husband's birthday. And a lot of you know, I just got back from Hawaii, from our second annual trip to Hawaii. And we wouldn't have this annual trip had I not gone to conference. We wouldn't have these memories had I not gone to conference. My daughter in Hawaii got into hula. You know, she fell in love with Hawaii and wanted to do hula. Like, we wouldn't have any of these memories had I not gone to conference. And memories, you guys, are priceless. So that's my story. I earned $22,000 and was able to take my family on vacation and pay for a lot of groceries, which was my goal as a stay-at-home mom, was I wanted to pay for groceries and gas. But yeah, we just got back from an amazing trip to Hawaii, 11 days, and it wouldn't have been our second annual trip because we would have never had the first one had I not gone to conference.
Oh my gosh, Mo. I feel like, you know, people look at what it costs them to go, and they don't look at what it's going to cost them by not going. And I think that that's two different perspectives that people need to realize. And I am so thankful for you, so thankful for your story. I'm excited to see you again at conference this year. And it's such a blessing, you guys, that people don't realize that there's someone in a, you know, in a worse financial situation. Oh my gosh, here's my dog. Like, I can't even right now. Oh my gosh, she's like worse than a kid sometimes. But when people realize that with every sacrifice comes great reward. And I know for me, I'll never miss one, ever. And it's the life of this business. People ask me how I've been so successful. It's events. It's a non-negotiable for me. If I'm not at a corporate event, I'm having an event at my house. If I'm not at a 1-2-1 mission, I'm at a boot camp. If I'm not at a boot camp, I'm at a wrap party. Like, going to events are crucial, and there's no event compares to conference. And conference happens once a year, and to wait a whole year to do that again is mind-blowing. You have no idea what people wouldn't give to go back and be like, man, I wish I would have gone to conference. So definitely don't miss it. Aspen, Ashley, what do you guys want to add?
The only thing I just hit mute, so sorry about that. Okay, so I want to just like paint a picture for you guys. Okay, so you know how we have promotions and we have different event or different things that come out, whether it's BOGO or the $500 shopping spree. Now, imagine grabbing your phone and having a wired notification and you're like, sweet, they just announced this awesome thing at conference. Awesome, cool, that's super exciting. You might post about it, you might text your team about it, and then you put your phone down and you go about your business, okay? So that's what happens, right? And really, we're all like awesome people. We're BA, because I'm not going to swear on this. So we really probably are working our businesses and we're not just going to put our phone down. But what I want to draw a picture of is the difference between the person sitting on the couch that's not at conference when they announce all of these awesome promotions to the difference between the person that's at conference in that room feeling that energy. And I don't know if any of you guys were at Green Carpet when they did the $9.99 distributor kits. If you're brand new and have no idea what I'm talking about, it's $100 to get in with It Works, which I think is a pretty stellar deal. But Mark at Green Carpet announced that anybody could get in for $9.99. And he had joked leading up to that how he, the mic drop, I'm going to drop the mic. Well, he's like, I'm going to throw the mic, you guys. Like, I'm just going to chuck it. Well, he made this announcement, and seriously, every single person now, like, balloons drop, everything drops. Like, I'm doing a really bad job of like explaining like how this happened, right? But it's this like insane, crazy thing. Like, all this stuff's happening. Everybody's freaking out. Everybody's screaming. I lose my voice. My entire team that's there, all of us are bawling our eyes out, like crying like babies, okay? We're all jumping up and down and screaming and taking pictures. And that's not just going on in the 2 rows that I have. That's the entire place, and that is what is going to happen. Nobody saw him throw his mic. He totally did. He totally chucked the thing. Nobody saw it. Everybody was asking him about it later. Everybody's like, did you throw the mic like you said you were going to? And he's like, yeah, I did. Why weren't you guys watching? No, we weren't watching because we were too busy crying, freaking out, screaming, losing our voices because of the excitement that we had in our hearts. All the information from being at that event went from our head to our heart. And I know for us, and I know for Amber's team, we left there and got our butts to work. I remember seeing Amber the next morning. We met up, or we didn't even meet up. We unintentionally ran into each other at lunch, and we had both slept like 2 hours because we were so stinking excited about all the momentum that was happening. You guys, that's going to happen again. It happens every single time you're at an event. It happens every single time that there is an announcement made when you are around people in a room that have that energy. And that, I think, is what carries that and starts that momentum and starts that energy for your business. And I, for one, like Amber said, I will never miss it because I never want to miss that feeling. I don't get that feeling anywhere else in life. So that's all I wanted to say is I don't want you guys to miss that feeling because it is like undescribable. I cannot even like put into words what that feels like. So Aspen, are you still there? Did you have anything that you wanted to add to this?
Yeah, I mean, you guys covered a ton. Obviously, the stories are what, sorry, I'm getting off on my exit. The stories are what are the life-changing piece of it. Hearing these people talk about the bonuses, the momentum, the relationships, and all of that. But people will often ask me, you know, how were you successful twice? You know, how did you build to the top twice? Or what's the secret to how people get to a certain rank? Like, what are they doing? And you know, sometimes it almost seems too simple, because the truth of the matter is, in this industry and in it works, getting to the top, getting these promotions is literally doing a series of what I like to call the right things. You just do enough of the right things consistently. You hear people say the best copycat wins, copy the right cat. You know, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. So if I was looking at this as, okay, this is your career with It Works. This is what you've chosen to do. Your feet are planted. You're here. You're in this company. Well, here's your job description. Here are those right things. And when you do enough of the right things, magic happens. No, we can't promise that you're going to go from Ruby to ambassador in 6 months, but you might. But I would list going to events as, here's part of the right things. It's putting wraps on people, getting in front of people belly to belly, posting on social, following up. It's all those things we know. But, you know, I was thinking as you guys were talking, I thought, you know what? Not every person that goes to conference goes ambassador, but every ambassador has been to a conference. And I just think that's such an interesting correlation. And if I was building a business, I'd want to know, what are the top leaders doing? What are the people that have gotten to where I want to go? What is it that they're doing? I need to mute out. There's a cop literally like blocking the road right in front of me. I'm sorry.
You're totally fine. Oh.
I love that. I love that. And you know what, Ash, I'll add to it real quick before I know we're cutting off on time. I'd go as far to add, you guys, that I can't bring that feeling home to you. Only you can have your breakthrough at any given time at conference. I remember sitting in rooms, having coffee, being invited to different hotels, talking to girls for 3 hours outside, standing in the middle of rain, talking to them about how to build their business, and having girls message you afterwards and be like, because of you, I went diamond. Because of you, I brought my husband home. And you guys, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about you. They need to hear from you. And I can't bring those moments home to you. And so if you're like, oh yeah, well, my upline will come back and tell me. No, they can't. They can't redo that. That feeling is a feeling that only you can have when you're ready to have it. Don't miss that feeling.
Aspen, are you there back yet?
I pulled
She's probably
over
not.
because literally, like, there's a cop blocking the road. I don't know what's going on, and Hazel's getting fussy, but
That's
I
okay.
was just going to say, it's a series of doing enough of the right things, and you get to where you want to go. And going to conference is part of that. It's like Field of Dreams, that if you build it, he will come. You know, it's making that investment, not thinking of it as a sacrifice. You've heard that theme over and over. It's making the investment now. So many people say, when I achieve this dollar amount, then I'll start going to boot camps and conference and events, rather than saying, I'll find a way to make it happen, and then the dollar amount follows. And it's just that interesting correlation. It's stepping out with faith. It's stepping out boldly and saying, you know what? I said yes to this. I put 99 bucks in. I'm a product of the product, and I'm doing it. Why not go all in and just see what happens? You know, see what happens when you go, and when you apply the feelings, the emotions, the knowledge, the whole package that conference is. What if we're right? You know, we say that when we're talking to people about getting into the business. What if we're right? And for $99, you can change your life. Well, what if we're right and you go to this and it changes the course of your business, you know? And I just encourage you to go. And I feel that same way about all the events that we do. I know you can't get to everything. Conference is obviously the biggest priority of all. And I love it that we're doing this Zoom right now, that we're talking about it 3, 4, 5 months ahead of time. And the reason we're doing it is we want you to plan for it. We want you, I mean, it's funny. I was going through my closet today thinking, wow, a lot of these jeans that don't fit me that I've kind of been saving here as my, when I get down to goal weight jeans, they're kind of out of style anyway. Like they might be brand new, but I probably shouldn't be getting back into them anyway. I need to go sell them because for some people, they're going to love them. Okay. Some have tags on them. Start selling jeans. Start figuring out what can I sell to save for my plane ticket? What can I sell to pay it forward and help somebody else go? And I think that's what's so important about, we're not doing this 2 weeks before saying, charge it, charge it, charge it. We're saying you can find a way, you can find a way, and we're telling you it's going to be worth it.
Love that. Thank you so, so much. Okay. And here's the thing, you guys, I'm pretty sure that tickets are going to be coming on sale within, like, I would think a month or so. Normally they come out in October. I don't think they've released the date yet. So make sure you guys, whoever is your upline, if you guys need to figure out the how, like we're really good at figuring out the how. We can brainstorm with you, just like Aspen and Amber said, on just tons of different ideas to make it happen. So get there. Okay. I will get this recording up so that way Amber and anybody else, you guys can get it out to your teams. But I am super excited to see all of you at conference because you're all going, right? I'm not going to make you.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Ashley, you guys. I'm just going to give some quick tips before everyone jumps off. Download the book, The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins, and start listening to it. And then also download the book called The Secrets to a Millionaire Mindset. Just do it. Just try it on. I'm excited to see everyone at conference too. Thanks, Ashley. Thanks, Aspen, for putting this on. And thanks, everyone, for jumping on. We will see you guys soon.
All right. Bye, guys. See you later.